Formula One fans, let's start today with some genuinely wonderful news from Charles Leclerc's personal life, before diving into a technical story that is absolutely jaw-dropping. Because while Maranello is celebrating, a revelation has emerged that nobody saw coming. McLaren has publicly admitted they are studying Ferrari for inspiration, and the words from their technical director of engineering carry serious weight. He stated that the Scuderia delivered a fantastic development run in the first part of the season, completely turning their situation around in record time, and that now, back in Woking, they need to understand exactly how Ferrari pulled it off. That is a stunning acknowledgement from a direct rival. And there is more because word has leaked out about a fourth upgrade package already in development for the final stretch of the season. I will tell you which Grand Prix it could arrive at, and why that timing would change everything. I will also break down how Ferrari's aggressive development pace forced their rivals to completely rethink their own plans, a move none of them had anticipated at all. Let's get into it. If you do not want to miss a single update on Ferrari and Formula One, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to stay in the loop. Alright, let's get straight into the full breakdown. We start with the best news of all, the kind that made every fan smile. Alexandra Saint-Malo, Charles Leclerc's wife, posted some unmistakable photos on her social media confirming her pregnancy, with emojis and details making it crystal clear that the couple is expecting a baby girl. The Monegasque will soon become a father, just like his peer Max Verstappen, and the little girl will be just over a year younger than the Dutch driver's daughter. It is a charming detail, a reminder of how this generation of drivers is sharing not just the track, but the biggest milestones of life away from it. And honestly, for Leclerc, 2026 is shaping up to be a year like no other. He and Alexandra married in Monaco on the 28th of February, and on the sporting side, his long-term contract renewal with Ferrari was also made official. A wedding, a new contract, and now a daughter on the way. It is hard to imagine 12 months more packed than that. To complete the picture perfectly, there is really only one thing missing: a stunning second half of the season that puts him back in contention for the Drivers' Championship. The numbers are honest about the challenge because Leclerc has 81 points to recover on Andrea Kimi Antonelli. A hugely difficult task, but with 12 races still to go, nothing is mathematically settled. Now let's move to the most fascinating technical story of recent days. It was clear from preseason testing that Mercedes was the team to beat, with a genuine advantage over the rest of the field, but nobody let go. Ferrari, which has been the primary chaser since the Australian Grand Prix, has brought an extraordinary volume of upgrades to close the gap, and that relentless pace of development has caught McLaren's full attention. The words of Neil Holdy, technical director of engineering at Woking, are genuinely striking. He said, and I quote, "I think we have done a great job introducing numerous updates that race by race have improved the performance of the car. But if we look at our rivals, there are teams like Ferrari who have made a fantastic development in the first part of the season. And then comes the really remarkable part. It is something we need to analyze and understand how they did it, because they turned their situation around quickly. It is a source of inspiration for us at McLaren. I think it has been a good lesson to see what others are capable of. Now, we need to be able to do the same." A direct rival openly admitting they are taking inspiration from Maranello. That does not happen every day. But where does this deep respect come from? Look at Ferrari's journey through the season because it is genuinely impressive. Even though the SF26 showed some clear deficits early on compared to the competition, Maranello followed an outstanding development program. First came the long and careful study of the McLaren wing concept, which debuted officially in Miami. Then the floor upgrade introduced in Barcelona. And finally, the new Audio 1 power unit in Austria. Ferrari's philosophy was set from the very beginning. Prioritize in-season development rather than arriving with an already dominant car. That is precisely what allowed them to spread these major packages across the whole championship calendar. The work from the engineers in the factory has been enormous, and it will continue to be, both to maximize performance this year and to hit the ground running next season. We should always remember that we are operating under the budget cap era, where every single decision must be calculated against the annual spending limit. The plan for the second half is already locked in. At Zandvoort, Ferrari will bring an important package focused primarily on the Barcelona floor, pushing the aerodynamic load it generates even further. That would effectively be the fourth evolution of that specific component, a clear sign of just how valuable that baseline has proven to be. Then comes the most anticipated moment of all, the second Auduo 2 power unit, expected to debut at Monza. The intervention will focus on the turbocharger, boosting output at the top end of the power delivery, exactly where Ferrari needs it most. The reason is obvious. Looking at the competitive picture, Ferrari still lacks something on the straights, while in the corners, as we saw clearly in Barcelona, the SF26 was simply superior to everything else on track. And now we get to the most intriguing piece of information of all, reported by Auto Racer. There is a fourth major upgrade package already in development, earmarked for the final part of the season. The question is, when will we see it on track? Let's think this through together because the calendar actually helps us narrow it down. Monza already has a major power unit upgrade coming, and given the nature of that circuit, it seems unlikely Ferrari would also introduce a brand new aerodynamic package there. Looking further ahead, several options remain, and considering how these packages have been distributed throughout the year, the Singapore Grand Prix looks like the most probable window. Pay attention to this detail because it would be a strategically perfect call. By introducing it there, the Scuderia would still have 9 Grand Prix left to run with that package on the car. 9 races is a massive number, and it could be decisive if Ferrari is still fighting on both fronts at that point. What exactly will this package focus on? It is hard to say with certainty, but the most concrete theories point to refinements of the McLaren-inspired wing, developed further not only for this season but also with an eye toward 2027, or to more subtle revisions at the rear end of the SF26. A lot will depend on what we actually see in the Netherlands. If only a floor evolution arrives, or if additional novelties show up too, that will give us a valuable clue about what to expect in the championship run-in. And here's the most remarkable knock-on effect of all this aggression. Because Ferrari's development pace has literally forced their rivals to rewrite their own strategies. Mercedes had debuted just one upgrade package in Canada, and in Italy they are expected to introduce their first Auduo power unit while waiting on further aerodynamic improvements. But now, the team has decided to bring more upgrades than originally planned, a choice they would not have made had they not witnessed Ferrari's development rhythm, and how aggressive the Scuderia has been all season long. They know they simply cannot afford to stand still on the aerodynamic front, because they would end up being overtaken. McLaren's thinking is equally sharp, as Holdier himself explained. We have planned to bring further components in the upcoming races, and we plan to keep doing so until the end of the season. We will not stop developing the 2026 because we know that everything we manage to improve this year we will be able to use in 2027. And Woking arrives off a superb weekend in Hungary, where Lando Norris won convincingly, with strong performances expected at Zandvoort too. So let's take stock of both championships. Ferrari is well positioned in both the constructors' and drivers' standings to sustain a genuine fight to the end. But if we are being honest about where the opportunities lie, the constructors' title looks considerably more within reach than the drivers, where the gap to close is heavier. That said, the competitive picture has shifted quite a bit. Up until Hungary, it was clear Ferrari had the superior car through the corners, while paying for it on the straights in terms of top speed. But with upgrades pouring in across every team, that balance will keep shifting and oscillating throughout the second half of the season. And McLaren now has to be taken very seriously in this conversation. After what they showed in Hungary, the team could be fighting for pole positions and race wins on a consistent basis, making them a decisive factor in how this all plays out. This fight is far from over,